Hey everybody, it is time once again for the weekly Rahdo Recap, and hello everybody. We are coming to you from beautiful San Diego, where it is so ridiculously sunny out. I cannot seem to control the exposure on my camera at all. Man, what's the toughest thing about filming on the road? Freaking camera exposure. I so miss my little room back in Washington State where I control the lighting, but that's okay if we're a little blown out, because we're not here for the visuals, we're here for the games, folks. That's what you want to hear. What new videos went up on the channel over the last 7 days? What new videos went up on other people's channels that I think are awesome and worth your time? And what new games did I discover that have now ranked very, very high on my wish list? Well, that is what I'm here to recap for you folks. And oh man, really kind of nervous. In just a couple of days, we're crossing the border into Mexico. We're just spending the last couple days here in San Diego, getting the last little bits. We got to get some road insurance and, take care of various and sundry things. But, oh, it's so close, folks. But I'll be talking more about that, I think, in the next monthly Rahdo Roundup, which we'll film once we cross the border. I know it's a little late, but there's so many things to take care of, folks. But the games wait for no one. Every day there's something new on the channel, which is why you should always like and subscribe. But anyway, folks, let's stop talking about the future. Let's talk about the past. First of all, I'm going to tell you about a couple of exclusive videos that are available for backers of the show, either at patreon.com, you can hit that I, or down below you could join if you want to check these out. What are these new exclusive videos? Oh, I am so glad you asked. Let's start with where are you? There you are. Boom. Hey, it's Sheepy time. This is a run through that anybody can see at any backer level. And folks, I got to say right now, if I were to do a top 10 overlooked games from the last few years, there is no way Sheepy time does not make that list, because it suffered from an identity crisis. This is a surprisingly crunchy and creative rondel style game. But if you looked at the box art cover, you'd think, oh, it's for families, it's for kids, because it's an incredibly lightweight looking game about sheep jumping over fences and getting 40 winks and staying ahead of a nightmare and all that kind of stuff. Folks, do not judge this book by its cover. It is so brilliant. So much stuff going on with a customizable, constantly dynamically evolving rondel. Really, really impressive stuff. Even if you don't support the show and so you can't see this run through that Jen and I filmed a couple of years ago, go look for more coverage of it. Everybody, I think, is very, very impressed by it. And again, if you support the show, you could be watching me and Jen play a full game of showing what makes Sheepy Time so special. That's not the only exclusive. The other one was the latest Tales from the Vault, which means Ruel did a live stream earlier this week, and for 24 hours a video was available where Ruel and the live audience reacted to an older Ramble exclusive video I did, where I talked about, I think, my favorite designers numbers 21 to 36, because I've already publicly done my top 10 and then my next top 10. I've done 2 videos on this, but then I talked about 15 more and why they're so great, looking over their games bibliography, and anticipating where they're going to go next. And it was so much fun, as always, to see Ruel and the live audience responding. And while the vault has been closed, this video is no longer publicly available. It's available for you if you support the show. Thank you, folks, for helping keep Rahdo running. Okay. So, those are the exclusives. But what does everybody get to see? Well, for starters, I did a preview of Tiny Epic Cthulhu. And folks, this is going to blow up. This is going to be a major, maybe like the last big crowdfunding game of the year. I think it launches on the 5th. And it is what it says right on the box. A Tiny Epic version of a cooperative fighting Cthulhu trying to save the world cooperative game. And it's got so many cool, original, and innovative features. This has got to be, I think, probably one of the cleverest of all the Tiny Epic games that have ever come out so far, because they have such a really interesting mix of bag building and push your luck and risk management, cooperative play, and at the center of all of it, a spinner of madness. And for folks who are quick to dismiss this game because they say, oh, a spinner, I refuse to play, I cannot stress what you're missing out on. This game completely reinvents the spinner, both physically and design-wise, and does so many cool things. You can check out this run-through right now, folks, if you want to know more. That is Tiny Epic Cthulhu. But we also on the channel had a run-through of the other really big crowdfunding game that's running right now in December. It is Nemesis Retaliation. Apparently the final chapter of the Nemesis saga. I've never played any of these Nemesis games, I'd certainly like to give them a try sometimes because, man, Shay loves them, and he says Retaliation might be the best one yet. And if you want to know why, you can check out his excellent preview that we put up on the channel earlier this week. Kimberly got on as well. After getting back from Board Game Geek Convention, she had a great time there. I talked about a video she did last week for it. She got to the table and got filmed Unmatched Adventures, Tales to Amaze. And folks, this is super high on my personal must-play list because it takes the incredibly popular series of games, the Unmatched series, which are really just a head-to-head player skirmish duel game, and turns it into a cooperative game. There is so much content in this box, and then you add all the additional content that's available because Unmatched has been a monstrously popular series for years now. This game blew me away, and I am so jealous. Kimberly, I'm coming. I want this copy of the game because I want to play it myself. But in the meantime, folks, you can enjoy Kimberly doing her best to save the day in Unmatched Adventures, Tales to Amaze. Let's see, Ruel got in on the action too. He played a run-through of Mycelia. I have to admit, this is a game that totally flew under the radar for me. I missed it. It came out at Essen Spiel, and he's gotten a copy of it. And, folks, I don't know what happened a couple of years ago in the pop culture zeitgeist that suddenly made so many designers say, I want to make a mushroom game, and now we're getting the fruits of all that labor. So many mushroom games. This is another one. It is kind of a family weight, Ticket to Ride, Carcassonne level deck building game with gorgeous, fantastical fantasy art of this mushroom kingdom. But the deck building looks really, really sharp, and Ruel did a fantastic job showing, this is another one, second time they're maybe flying under the radar, hasn't gotten as much attention as it should, because again, you can check out Ruel's run through right now. There's links for it and everything I'm talking about today down in the show notes, folks, or if you just wait till the end, I will have a playlist on screen right over there, so you can just watch any of these videos, including Ruel's excellent run through of Mycelia. Okay, in addition to those big videos, I had a couple of quick ones. I did a little rapid review of Art Society, which turned out to be a very popular video or a game, I should say, at Essen Spiel, one of the big hits of Essen Spiel. But here's the deal, folks. I've played it, and I've got a few problems with it. But I've actually, in this little wrap review, explained how to, quote, fix the game, for Jens, in my opinion, anyway. I very rarely make house rules, but with one little tweak, Art Society becomes one of the best auction games in years. Just takes a little tweak, and you can watch my rapid review where I'll explain what that tweak is. And then my other rapid review was for Far Away, which is probably going to be in my wife's top 10 favorite games of the year. It's a rare 5-star game from her, an absolutely brilliant little card game that plays very fast, small footprint, perfect for if you're at a restaurant waiting for your meal to arrive. And I do my best to describe just how fresh and interesting and innovative the gameplay is in a rapid review for Far Away. Folks, as more people get their hands on it, I think this is a lot of people are really going to be loving this one. Okay, so that's what we had on my channel. Oh my gosh, the sun is blowing everything out so much, but that's okay. Let's move on to things from other people's channels, because I've got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 videos that I think are well worth your time. Starting with Roland Reggie, who did this very, very cool game roundup. Ever since, 3 or 4 years ago, I started doing monthly roundups, and nowadays it seems like every channel does a monthly roundup. So they become ubiquitous nowadays, and that's cool. I'm glad to know I still have a little bit of influence in the industry, but Reggie flipped the script with this one. I thought it was very, very cool. He did a seasonal roundup where he did I believe it was a top 5 countdown of the best games he played over summer and fall. So this is, not like an end of year thing, but like, a halfway midpoint. Hey, of everything he played, these are the best ones. Oh, I don't want to spoil all his stuff. Actually, although he hasn't even gotten to his, all right, because he also did a game haul breakdown too. So there's a lot of games. Reggie is very entertaining, very charming, and he did a really great breakdown of some really great games, and I love this format. It's kind of a seasonal roundup rather than a monthly roundup. Okay, so you can check that out. Links for it down in the show notes. Good job, Reggie. And then Danny from Board Game Sanctuary is back, and I thought this was really nicely done. What I wish I knew about board gaming. It's kind of a, hey, if I could go back in time, what would I tell myself now that I'm an experienced board game geek? When I was just starting out and kind of getting addicted to the hobby, what would have been good tips? What to avoid, what not to avoid, what to focus on, what pitfalls not to fall down. Again, I agreed with all of his points. I would probably want to go back and tell myself some of these things. And again, Board Game Sanctuary, a very fun and funny channel to watch. He did a great job. And for some reason, throughout the entire thing, I don't know if he was somehow getting sponsorship for those coffee cups that he keeps holding in front of the camera, but great one. What I wish I knew about board gaming. Alrighty, then, Chris of Room and Board, who is a regular on the channel and our R&R shows, well, he did a review, which is very rare for him. Mostly he does like crowdfunding countdowns and deathmatch, elimination things. But he did a rare review of Skull Canyon Ski Fest. And I've been waiting like 8 months for this because I think it was back in February or March, we had an R&R show where he put it on one of our top 10 countdowns, and he really intrigued both me and Ruel about this game, I think from Pandasaurus, which is a Gateway Family Weight thing about skiing down Skull Canyon and using kind of Ticket to Ride style, hand rummy card management stuff. Although actually that's not quite true. It's a bit different, but you can watch the video. But still, it was just great to see Chris doing a review because he does a great job. And this is another, I think that's the theme of this week. Games that flew under the radar, because this is another one that looks really, really cool. And Chris, as always, is very, very entertaining and does a great job letting you know why you might want to check out this, Gateway style skiing simulation. It's Room and Board's Skull Canyon Ski Fest review. Took you a while, Chris. You said you were going to get it done 8 months ago. Better late than never. Okay. Then what have we got? Okay. Oh, man. Every time Tantrum House does this, their Saturday morning board game show, here's the one for December. This has got to be, folks, the most technically incredible production in all of board game media, because the entire Tantrum House team, which is huge, all gets together in one house, and they live stream for about an hour just talking about all kinds of games. You can see in this one right here, right now they're talking about the Adventure Advent Calendar, right? But in the background you could see Kevin, who had set up to talk about the new Princess of Florence. And so this live stream, it's like a studio presentation. This would be hard to pull off at a Hollywood soundstage, and yet they all do this. And look, they're just switching from like one set to another, and in an hour they either just demo games or actually play entire games, and I'm always blown away by this. I do a few videos myself, and the logistics of being able to put this together with all the smooth transitions and going from set to set to set around this gigantic room they're filming in, it is amazing to me how they do this. Oh, now they've switched to it. Now they're at a coffee table playing a different game, and then they switch back over. So you got to imagine, while they're filming this, and they've got the one thing in the foreground, in the background, they're running around like crazy, setting up the next game so they can just smoothly transition. Tantrum House, you blow my mind every time you pull this off. And I think this is maybe your most polished one yet, because sometimes there's been some audio issues on some of these, but this one, it just sounded flawless. Really blown away. Folks, you will have a great time watching the latest Saturday morning board game show from Tantrum House. I highly recommend it, as are all of these videos. Let's see, what else we got next? Okay. This is a newer channel that I kind of stumbled across. It's Board Game Plays. I believe the host here is Ryan, and I've subscribed to him now because this was a really cool video. The best board games at Target today. What he did is he went to a local Target, took his phone, and literally took pictures of every board game that was on every shelf. And then he's just doing a little run through shelf by shelf, talking about the terrible games, the surprisingly good games that you would think are terrible, and then the really good games as well. This was fascinating, and I think a fantastic, subject matter. I really enjoyed it. Ryan, if you see this, I would make one suggestion though. Buddy, probably 60-70% of people who watch this video are going to watch on their phones. Tiny little screens. And so that means you've got it backwards, because you've got yourself full screen and then you've got your pictures in a tiny little picture-in-picture, which means if you try to watch this on a phone, it's so tiny you can't see your pictures. So you just need to flip that. Make the shelf the full screen thing and then put yourself in a little picture-in-picture, and it would have been 10 times better. But even still, without that, I thought this was fantastic. One little technical glitch that hopefully I'm just pointing out. If you ever do this again, and I think you should, do other stores. I mean, it was great. But anyway, still, even in spite of that, if you watch on a big screen, I think the best board games at Target today from Board Game Plays was very, very cool. Alrighty. Oh, what else have we got? Oh man, so many videos. Oh man, John Perkis. You know, it's the end of the year, folks. So we're starting to see lots of channels do their, their yearly, what do you call it? Why aren't you playing? I literally downloaded all these videos ahead of time. Oh, sorry. Everybody's doing their holiday gift-giving guides. And what everybody does is, hey, here's board games you can buy for the people in your life. John went a different way. He said, hey, if you're a normal person who is not a board game geek, but you have board game geeks in your life, here's what you should pick them up. And none of them are board games, because that's always a mistake. You get a game that they don't like, or a game they already have, or they whatever. John goes another way and talks about really cool accessories and board game adjacent gifts. It was freaking brilliant. I mean, John Perkis is brilliant. It's probably why he's one of the most popular channels today. And heck, even if you don't need to do any gift shopping for board game geeks in your life, if you're watching this, you're a board game geek, you might like some of these for yourself, and maybe you could drop hints for your friends and loved ones. It was a great, great video. Very impressive, John. And then the last one I want to talk about is Alex Radkiff of Board Game Co. did a really good video. Why is it taking so long to load? I preloaded all of these. I literally downloaded. All right, regardless, doesn't matter. Those are my technical hitches. I do not have the level of sophistication in my RV that Tantrum House does. But anyway, regardless, Alex did a video, the 5 ethical dilemmas for you to consider, board game related, of course. I really enjoyed this one because it is, folks, I'm going to tell you right now, this is pro board game publisher. This is Alex trying as best he can with his personal knowledge of how the industry works to put you in the headspace of a board game publisher having to make tough choices. This is the video for everybody out there who says, oh, these board game publishers are money grubbing so-and-sos. Everything on Kickstarter is just a cash grab. And oh man, they're all making money hands over fist and abusing us, the customers, the consumers. You always get the short end of the stick. And Alex, I think, does a great job trying to give you a different perspective. And again, not just telling you how it works, but letting you asking you, hey, how would you solve this problem if you were a board game publisher? What would you do? And I thought it was brilliant. Alex, probably one of your best videos in years. I was super duper impressed by it. I cannot recommend enough the 5 ethical dilemmas for you to consider. All right, and again, links for that, like everything else, down in the show notes. Phew, that was a lot of videos, folks. But now I've got to talk about a bunch of really, really cool board games, if I can find them. Yes, they are here. What have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I told you this was going to be a long episode, folks. Oh my goodness. Let's get to it. Right, where is my button? What do I got to push? I think I got to push this one, and boom. First of all, what am I most excited about? What has gone very high on my wish list? A double feature, Cascadia Rolling Rivers and Cascadia Rolling Hills. So these are basically sequels to Cascadia, but there's very little information about them now, other than to say these are roll and writes. Or not roll and writes, probably flip and fills, whatever. But I don't think, like so many games, like, the Rajas, the Ganges, so many games get, oh, here's our roll and write version of the original game. These seem to be set kind of in the same milieu as Cascadia, but from what little information there is in the description, it sounds like they're pretty significantly different. Like they're not trying to recreate a tile laying game necessarily. Maybe they are. They say there's hexagon grids. Unfortunately, there's no pictures of anything. The most important thing, it is the original designer of Cascadia, Randy Flynn, revisiting that, and I am willing to bet coming up with some very, very cool tweaks and twists on the core ideas. I mean, I recently played, Jen and I played Cascadia Landmarks. I'll be talking about it in the monthly roundup, but let me just tell you folks, oh my God, Cascadia Landmarks so elevates Cascadia that I am very, very excited for more Cascadia content right now. And 2024 is going to be great because we're going to be getting 2 new ones, Rolling Hills and Rolling Rivers. Hey, rolling's in the name. These must be rolling rights, mustn't they? They say their mechanism flipping right. Then why are you calling them rolling? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Whatever they are, I am going to be there. Cannot wait to see them. But that's not all. We've also got World Wonders, the Mundo Wonder Pack. Man, was I just about to say that World Wonders is another game that's flying under the radar? No, I just think not enough people have gotten it yet. I got an early copy back before Gen Con. There were some copies of Gen Con. I don't think it's gone wide yet, or people are only just starting to get their hands on World Wonders. But World Wonders, folks, is phenomenal. Maybe Arcane Wonders, the publisher's best game to date. No, that would still have to be Furnace. But probably in their top 3 greatest games they've ever published. World Wonders is a phenomenal tile-laying game with great table presence, these cool wooden chunky pieces that represent the wonders of the world you're building. I love the base game, and I love that this new one, which there's no real pictures, is adding, 9 new monuments to build, but more importantly, an entirely new mode, which adds more strategy to the scoring of monuments, offering higher scores. Right, so it doesn't say what this new mode is, but it's a new, different way to score, or maybe new way to function objectives. I don't know. World Wonders is fantastic. It's one of the games that, even though I've already played it, it's in the back of my RV right now because I wanted to play it more as we head into Mexico. That's how much I love the game. And so I'm excited that next year we're going to be getting even more World Wonders with the Mundo Wonder Pack. Okay, what else have we got here? Right. Oh, Gnome Hollow. As we headed south through San Diego the other day, I stopped off at the offices of board game publisher The Op. And one of the things they showed me was a prototype for Gnome Hollow. This is going to be a very, very popular game next year. I think there are pictures of this, aren't there? Yes. Let's go on ahead and go to the images and try and get some images on screen. So here's what you can't tell from this. This game, actually, let me try and get a bigger picture of the whole thing. Oh, this is some nice. So this is a tile laying game, hex tiles, but it's kind of like tile laying Carcassonne, but the only thing you're focusing on is the roads, because you expand these roads, you put your little gnome workers on them to claim the roads, and you're trying to get the roads completely closed off in a loop. That's always these fairy rings that you're trying to make loops of. Kind of like the roads in Carcassonne where you're trying to make them and then you score them. Same thing happens here. But what's really, really cool is, while I've built this road and I've claimed it, I only have 2 gnomes that I can put on roads. And every turn, I can pick them up and move them to other roads, including roads that you have already finished. Because a road, once it's finished, will provide resources that you can harvest that you need to build more roads, right? But if I take one of my 2 precious gnomes that I'm using to hold on to these roads that I'm trying to complete, to move them over to a road that was previously finished by me or you so I can get some resources, I'm opening up that road so somebody else can jump in. This seems really, really cool. Kind of Carcassonne turned into an area control game focusing on the roads. So the gameplay looked neat. I didn't get a chance to play it, but they talked about it and it sounded really cool. But now let me come back to this, because the prototype, your player boards, you can't tell from this picture, but is festooned with magnets. Every single spot where you would put one of these little markers to represent the bonuses you're getting for completing roads has a magnet. So rather than what's becoming the norm these days, dual layered boards where you can kind of slot things in this game, all of your pieces magnetically snap to all the places on the board, and it's freaking awesome. We've seen a few magnets in a few games where, hey, let's put a rondelle that spins and so it holds in place, like Coloma and whatnot. But this one, it's got like a dozen magnets in every player's board. Now, this is the prototype. I don't know if this is actually going to make it into the final game. I could not quite get a straight answer on that, but I suspect it will, and I suspect it's really going to make people rethink, right, what represents top-tier production value? This, folks, I think is going to be a very, very exciting game. It's, what was it? Oh, Gnome Hollow. Another game about mushrooms. So many mushrooms. It's the mushroom renaissance in board games. Okay, what else have we got here? Right. Oh man, River Valley Glassworks. Now, it's from publisher Allplay and formerly Board Game Tables. And here's the important thing: design team: Matt Riddle, Ben Pinchback, and Adam Hill, who they've been co-designing with on their more recent roll and writes. And I forgot, folks, Ben Pinchback and Matt Riddle know how to make games that aren't roll and writes. They're going back. This is a well, again, it's really early. This is another 2024 game. I'm just here for those designers. Ever since Fleet, I've been so impressed by what they do. But I'm also really intrigued by the subject matter because it sounds like this is a game of anthropomorphized woodland creatures, which you can tell from the art, which is just absolutely adorable. But they are trying to find beach glass that has washed up, become smooth, polished stones, and harvesting those as part of their engine building Euro economic management stuff. So that sounds really, really cool, especially because one of my wife's favorite things in the world to do is go scavenging on beaches, harvesting beach glass, which is like super smooth, beautiful, kind of frosted glass. And this game talks about how, hey, it is a drafting game where we are trying to draft different colored pieces of this a washed up glass. Why won't you go back to the original page? Has my online just gone offline? Oh man, how much battery do I have? Oh, okay, I'm almost done, But anyway, so the team sounds great, the art looks great from the box cover, and the subject matter, play as he's finding drafting glass from a market of river tiles. This sounds really, really cool. So it had to go high on my wish list, the River Valley Glassworks. Then, what have we got here? Oh man, Striking Flint from designer John Dubois, who he's done a bunch of games. He's like a little independent, the epitome of the indie board game publisher, designer, just putting out, games you can't see anywhere else. Last year, what was it? Ruel covered one of his games on the channel. I can't remember the name of it. Oh, it was Heading Forward. If you haven't seen it, go watch Ruel's run-through of Heading Forward on the channel. It was fantastic. Such a smart game about the subject matter of recovering from traumatic brain injury, which John did in real life. But now he's focusing on something else. It is a cooperative game that recreates the 1937 United Auto Workers strike in Flint, Michigan. Talk about timely. Talk about subject matter that games should be lifting up. In a entertainment form where so often we are the managerial class trying to get as much as we can out of our workers. It's one of the most popular genres is worker placement. How about a game where we're the workers trying to fight for better representation and better quality of life? I am really excited about this. Plus, it's a cooperative game. It's, a lot of times these are, one person is the man trying to keep, and the other player is trying to fight for rights. Here we all work, striking for a better tomorrow in Striking Flint. Tell me that doesn't sound amazing, folks. Why would you not put that on your wish list? John, I'm very excited to learn more as time goes on. Okay, let's see. What else do we have? Oh, man. This is Wildlife Dice. This is going to be crowdfunding. I mean, maybe by the end of the year. It says 2013, but I don't think it's crowdfunded yet. But this is another one of those, hey, it's a little print and play, roll and write. You'll pay a few bucks on the crowdfunding page and you'll get access to the PDF so you can print it out yourself. We've had a bunch of these over the last couple of years. I'm particularly excited about this one though because it's from designer Christoph Mutasik, who, man, his, what is it? I can't think of the name now, but I did open it up because in case I forgot. Thrash and Roll, right. Thrash and Roll is one of the greatest dice worker placement games of all time. Even though Jen and I really did not like the subject matter of playing a hardcore thrash metal band, being a manager, the gameplay was so good, we loved Thrash and Roll. So I'm always interested in what Christoph has to show, and this is, I think, the first time he's done it. And if you look, it looks like it's going to be a really high quality, looker of a roll and write, trying to create your own wildlife park. So I am definitely interested in Wildlife Dice. And then finally, the last one, folks. Oh my gosh. Fire Flowers from P.O. Games and Anton Jakowski. I don't know either of them. These must be new up-and-comers. But they talk about how this is the next game in their, what do they call it? The, I had a name for it here. They're Clear series, which are, I think the previous one was like a F-Zero inspired racing game. But anyway, this is a game. It's a micro game. I think it just comes with 36 cards, 18 of them normal, 18 of them acrylic, transparent. And you're trying to lay out a field of firefighter, combine and clear standard cards to win. Oh, it's the fireworks competition. We're making fireworks. So, okay, hence the fire flowers. And so I love this idea of laying out cards, trying to get them to meld together, but then laying transparent cards on top of them to trigger scoring opportunities. Presumably, that sounds really, really cool. Plus, on top of it, it is a limited communication cooperative game. That really ratchets it up even higher. I wish there were some pictures of this because we got nothing other than a description, which really intrigues me. And yeah, I love transparent cards. They are not done anywhere near enough. Have people not seen how awesome John D. Clair's Mystic Veil is? More new tricks to, or canvas, more cool ways to use transparent cards, please. And it looks like Fireflower is definitely going to join those ranks. Phew, okay folks, that is it. Like I said, there's a lot, and I gotta cross the street now because we're gonna play this today. Oh yeah. This showed up, although they didn't send the game, so I had to buy my own copy. But anyway, that's what I'll be talking about this in the future, folks, in the next roundup. But for now, boom! There is the playlist. And boom, there's subscribes. And if you want to know more about Patreon and all of that. But I think we are good to go, folks. So, you know what to do. Click. Go watch some of that videos or the links for the games down below. Why haven't you done it? Because this is it. This is all I care about now. Oh, I'm so excited. And scared too.